So I made this bow bag on my Sentro knitting machine, and this is the tutorial I'll be making for you guys today. What's interesting about this bow bag is that one side has a zipper and the other side has a magnetic button for fast access. I'm gonna be showing you how to make this and how to add the lining to this beautiful bag. I got inspired by Pinterest, where I saw an image of a bow bag made in fabric, and then I decided to make this bow bag on my Sentro machine. And so I add some lining as well. The lining helps to hold the bag in place, okay? Because as you guys know, the knitting stretches, so as you can see, it's not stretching anymore with the lining. So make sure, if you're making this bag, make sure you add the lining. And now I'm gonna show you the materials that you're gonna need to make this beautiful bag. To make this bow bag, what we're gonna need is fabric, and then we're gonna need a zipper. It's a 40-centimeter zipper, and a hook, scissors, some markers, and worsted yarn. I have 2 rolls here to make this project. It's important that's worsted because I don't think a double knit yarn would hold the bag in shape, okay? So it needs to be any kind of worsted yarn that you would like to work on your Sentro machine, and of course the Sentro machine itself, it's the 48 needles one. And some silicone glue just to glue the fabric. I'm gonna show you a very quick way to add lining to your bag as well. So let's get started. So to start this bag, I'm gonna make a long tube, just like a beanie, and I'm going to cast on. The only difference of a beanie is that I'm using waste yarn, so it's easy to bind off the stitches later. So I'm just casting on stitches on the tube mold, and I'm gonna be making 1 row only with this. Put the counter back to 0, grab the yarn, leave a long tail here, bind off the stitches later, and start making. We're gonna be making 160 rows for this bow bag project. I have my 160 rows here, and now I'm going to bind off the stitches. So for every piece of this bag, you're gonna bind off and cast on the same way. So cast on with 2 waste yarn rows and bind off, cast off with a tapestry needle and a contrasting color of yarn. So 160 rows, for 160 rows I used 1 row, and that's what I have left. So that's what you're gonna use. Now fix any tension problems, just arranging the stitches. And now we're gonna make the second part. We have to make 3 more parts for this bag. I'm going to make the second part now, and I'm gonna show you this second part, and for the other parts I'm gonna just to give you the number of stitches and rows that we have to make, and then I'm gonna show you how to assemble the bag. Now this next piece is gonna be this middle piece of the bag, and to make this piece we're going to cast on stitches. I'm going to cast on 21 stitches. To make this piece, you can also be using your Sentro 22 if you prefer to make tubes, but I'm going to use the Sentro 48 to make all the project. Cast on 21 stitches and make 1 more row with the waste yarn. Leave a long tail again to start the project, and to use this tail to bind off after again. And then we're going to make 50 rows. You can make 50 rows also on your Sentro 22 if that's what you're using. And you can use a tap app on your phone where you just tap and record the number of rows you are making. After you made 50 rows, just bind off the stitches with tapestry needle and some waste yarn. So I'm gonna show you now a graphic of all the pieces you need and with all the stitches you need. I'm going to make for the bottom of this bag, I'm going to make 21 stitches with 80 rows, and the handle I'm going to make 120 rows and 13 stitches, because before I made another bag of these ones and I used, I think, 150 stitches, and I thought it was a bit too much for the handle, so I reduced the size to 120. So make this piece here last, just because we are going to make a few rows with single crochet here, and then you leave the row attached when you finish it, okay? So for this big piece here and this piece here, we're gonna bind off the same way, so you know. So I'm gonna do only once and start on the opposite side to where your tail is, so you can finish the last stitch with the tail. And all you're gonna do is just pull one stitch inside another, like this, with your crochet hook. So repeat this on both sides, repeat this and this, and then we are going to close here and then close here on the bottom after, to finish this part of the bag. So I bind off both sides and I just slip the last tail through that last loop there. I'm gonna use this one to seam this part here, and this one I'm just gonna get rid of it and hide it on the back. Start seaming on the opposite side of where your tail is, and right on the corner here grab the first 2 loops this way, and then on the other side in these 2 loops here, and then in the very next 2 loops, it's called Kitchener stitch, and then in the next 2 loops, once coming out of here, the next 2 like this, and then you're gonna form a perfect V like you had underneath it. So repeat this all the way going up. Now for this next step, make sure you fold it properly. So just seam one of the sides and make sure you have always that same stitch on the bottom here. Just start seaming and make sure this is right in the middle as well. And then once you did that, just attach a tail in one of the sides. Hide that knot inside and just grab the knitting like this. You're gonna go first on one side, and then the opposite side. Always in that same stitch, going that way and through 2 rows at a time. And then keep doing this all the way to the other side here. Now this is the seaming, how it looks like. This is gonna be right in the middle where we're gonna close like this. So this next piece that I'm seaming is the middle piece here. And if you didn't make this on a tube, on a Sentro 22, just make sure the first thing you're gonna do is just geometry stitch this part and turn this into a tube to then bind off the stitches on the top and on the bottom the same way we did here. And so do that, and then I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna close this after. Fold this piece and leave the mattress stitch kind of on the corner, in one of the corners there, so you can use that yarn tail to bind off the stitches. And then all you're gonna do is grab one loop on one side and the other loop on the other side like this. These loops here, the loop on the back. And repeat the same thing on the other side as well. Now for this piece here, you have two options. You can seam like this, but first, just close it around the bag and seam on the back. And this is gonna be the last part because you still have to put the lining, okay? Or you can do what I did in my other bag. You can just add a magnetic bottom here and seam it with, as you can see here, and seam it with a needle and a thread. I will do that, you know why? Because it's easier to wash it later, so you can open and wash it. And as well, if you don't want to use this like this, you can just use as a wallet as well. So I prefer this way, but if you prefer the other way, you can just seam like I did here, okay? So now let's make the handle and the other piece. Now for this piece here, this is the bottom part of the middle. What we're going to do is, just to avoid curling, I'm going to bind off all the stitches using crochet. I'm going to start in this last stitch here, always grabbing the stitches from the front like I'm doing here, and then slip stitch. So slip stitch all the way to here, and then I'm going to single crochet here so it doesn't curl as much as here. I want this to be a little more flat, and that's why I'm going to do that. So when you get here, you just single crochet in every second row, one single crochet, and here you can bind off the same way we are doing on the other side to remove all these tails. So I single crochet all around it, single crochet here on the sides, and slip stitch here on the bottom. And now I'm going to, from that last corner, I'm going to chain one, and I'm going to half double crochet one in each stitch on the bottom and on the other side as well. And I'm going to be making one single crochet to each single crochet on the side, just because it's still curly. And I think it's gonna look more flat when you finish the single crochet and half double on each side. Repeat this all around the piece, and then we are finished with this one here. You can steam block all the pieces so they are more flat and all the stitches are even before you put this bag together. And now for the handle, I did mattress stitch already all the way to the top, and then I just bind the stitches off with crochet using that same yarn tail that I left. Just remove the stitches, bind them off this way with a slip stitch. Now after you finish all the pieces, we are going to cut the fabric on the same size of your bag, and then after that turn the fabric to the wrong side and also the zipper to the wrong side, and then we are going to glue this part here with our silicone glue. So just apply the glue right on the edge of the zipper, and that's very important. And now flip it over. Once it's dried, get rid of this extra fabric here. And now we're gonna flip this like this, so we get the wrong side of our zipper and the wrong side of the fabric, and we're gonna glue here as well. Now, because in one side I want fast access like this with the magnetic bottom, and the other side I want the zipper to get to just store my wallet and phone, what I'm going to do is quickly cut this a little bit so you know where you have to stop cutting the zipper, and then just cut the zipper. Make sure you don't cut the fabric, okay? Then cut the zipper. And then a quick tip as well here, to avoid the peeling of the zipper, you can just burn it, like quickly burn the edges. And now before you seam this lining with the bag, all you have to do is just seam both sides straight like this and this. And then we're going to seam this inside the bag. So this is our seaming, the side for fast access and the side to add your phone and wallet, things like that. Now we're gonna attach the handle. I'm going to start on the side where I already had the tail here. I'm gonna leave the matching stitch right in the middle on the back of it. And just starting one of the sides, we are going to be working these stitches right inside there. A few stitches before the corner, like around here, just before where the zipper is. So this is our bow bag, guys. Then let's try our phone, fits in perfectly. And earphones and other stuff if you want. On the other side it has the fast access here. Beautiful bag. Thank you for watching, guys. Leave me your comment and thumbs up if you like this tutorial, and I see you on the next weekend with another one.